Hi, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. Happy Wednesday, okay? Happy hump day. Guess what, everyone? It's Wednesday. It's hump day, and you can't tell me shit. You know why? Because I have a thick, juicy ass. I have friends and family who love me, and I have a freshly brewed coffee with sweet cream in it. So let's fucking go, baby. So my sister's coming to town this weekend. I'm super excited just to do an aggressive shift in tone. She's coming to town because this time of year fucking sucks for us because our mom's anniversary is on Cinco de Mayo and then Mother's Day is right after on May 10th. So usually this time of year, my sister will come to LA and we'll do some girly pop activities for like a week or so. When I tell you this year, it is so fucking needed. I'm so excited. We're going to a Tone It Up event in Manhattan Beach on Sunday after she gets here. And then we're going to just like do some girly pop activities. We're definitely going to see Devil Wears Prada 2 together at some point. Alex, if you're listening, I'm forcing that on you. Not that it'll take that much effort to force it on you. And then we're also going to go to San Diego for a couple of days and stay at a super cute hotel and just like hang out by the pool and eat dinner and drink martinis and go bowling. And I'm so excited. I actually bought a candle in honor of my sister coming to town today. It's from Boy Smells. The scent is called Less, and it has notes of bergamot, black currant, peony, and peach blossom. It is such a nice floral spring candle. And I got that one specifically because when she came a couple years ago, I had randomly purchased that candle. So now I like associate it with like fond memories with her. So I was like, I want to have like a nice, cute, girly candle that we can light up while we watch Bravo together. And I'm so fucking excited. It's one of those weeks that just feels long because I'm so excited. But honestly, like how diabolical is it that my mom's anniversary and Mother's Day are like so close together? So close together. And I'm not alone here. I have multiple friends who have similar situations where their mom's anniversary is like right by Mother's Day. And I'm like, it's just kind of the worst, isn't it? So if anyone's feeling some crunchy emotions this time of year, whether your mom's still with us or not, maybe you have some tough feelings around your mom, maybe you have a fraught relationship, just know I'm thinking of you. I love you. I'm sending love. I'm sending Hillen. And when in doubt, let's all just turn off our phones and like go outside, get into the world. I find that like when I'm depressy, the number one thing I want to do is like lay in bed on my phone and just like go between napping. Is it vacillate or oscillate? One of those. Oscillate. I'm going to pick one just for the sake of let's keep this moving. I oscillate between napping and then just like doom scrolling, and like there'll be like, you know, old Vanderpump Rules in the background, and I'll just like draw all the blinds in my room and just make it like a depression cave, and I'll just go between napping and eating and scrolling, and it is like so detrimental to my mental health. Like when in doubt, we all need to like move our bodies and go outside. It sounds so obvious, but it's true. So anyways, I'm sending love to anyone who's kind of in the thick of it with Mother's Day coming up. Speaking of watching Bravo with my sister, though, let's go back to that because that was a good segue. Let's talk about the leaked Summer House audio. Okay. Bravo fans, we cannot have a moment of rest. We cannot have a moment of rest. I cannot. So last week, there was leaked audio from the Summer House reunion. And it made Amanda look so fucking bad and so fucking stupid. And I can't say I'm surprised, but like, every time I think she can't become more unlikable, she miraculously does. She's like, well, it's not what you said, Sierra. Well, it's not what you said, Sierra. Like, just fully, like no remorse, fully defending her behavior. West said a whole lot of nada in that clip. And then Sierra, meanwhile, sounded like so grounded, so in her power. I was like so proud of her listening to that clip. I was like, these people don't get any tears out of this woman. She is moving the fuck on. And then she had Mia in her corner saying like, you were a married woman and now you're West's side chick. Like, that's crazy. And I was like, oh my God, iconic, brilliant, incredible. We love Mia. Mia is like I say it every week, but I'm just so obsessed with her. And I think she's breathing new life into the show that was needed. And then when Lindsay Hubbard was like, you got smoked out, I was like, oh my God, chills all over my body. So the audio is circulating. We're all having a fun time, like ripping Amanda and West a new asshole and then celebrating the rest of the cast. And then Bravo's like, we take this matter very seriously. And Andy is like, guys, we take this matter very seriously. And then all these Bravo creators were like being so dramatic about it, being like, I won't be posting the audio. Rest assured, I won't be circulating this illegal piece of Summer House audio. And I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. Listen, I love Bravo. Okay. I love Andy. I want to be a bartender on Watch What Happens Live someday. I'd love to be a guest on Watch What Happens Live someday. Let's shoot for the moon and we'll land amongst the stars. However, the Bravo creators, I'm like, y'all got to stand down, because until Bravo is paying your bills and lining your pockets, I think it's like we can chill with the self-aggrandizing, like, I won't be sharing the audio. But then, okay, so that's how I was feeling about it. I was like, you guys are doing too much, respectfully. But then Andy went on his podcast today and he's like, and you know, how cool of those Bravo accounts to not share anything about it. I mean, how cool of them to not circulate it, as opposed to some of these creators posting these god-awful takes, blaming the cast for the audio being leaked. And I'm looking around being like, is this fucking Play About Us? Because I posted a video that was a joke about how I thought that Levi leaked the audio because she's done next to nothing all season. And as Danny and I mentioned on Everything Iconic, we want her to get into the mix. So I jokingly was like, I'm starting a rumor that Levi leaked it. And I was like, oh my God, Andy, is this fucking Play About Us? Like, am I in trouble? Are you mad at me? Are we fighting? Like, do I need to DM him and be like, I'm so sorry? I don't know, but it made me go, ooh. It felt like when a teacher's like when you're talking in the middle of class in elementary school and the teacher's like, and what did I just say, Hannah? And you have no fucking idea what they just said because you were talking with your friend. That's how I felt. I was like, oh, am I being singled out? But that's also just anxiety. Like, respectfully, I don't think my account's big enough for Andy to notice. I mean, yet, knock on wood. I guess never say never. You really never know who's watching on the internet, which is both exciting and terrifying. But I was like, oh my God, am I in Trubsies? Sorry. Also, there are rumors now that, so Andy said, like, today on his podcast, that like a Bravo fan ultimately delivered the smoking gun, the information that cemented the perpetrator who leaked the audio, cemented who it was. And he's like, more to come on this. And now there are rumors circulating that the aforementioned Bravo fan who saved the day, the hero that Gotham needs, is Jennifer Lawrence. And I'm like, we live in a simulation. And I know I say it once a week, but it's true. Like, what is even happening anymore? Speaking of what is even happening anymore, Michelle from the Valley is maybe dating Dr. Dre because they went to Nobu together and they were like photographed holding hands. Like, what? What? It's like Mad Libs. It's like, give me a person, Dr. Dre. Give me another person, Michelle Saniei. Give me a location, Nobu. It's like, it literally feels like a Mad Lib come to life. I'm so fucking confused. Wait, another quick Summer House thought that I will be very brief about because I think it's dark. Whoever leaked Wes nudes, you guys, can we all be above revenge porn, please? Obviously, Wes sucks, but like no one deserves to get their nudes leaked. Like that is a bridge too far. I think it's like when you become, like when your quest to be moral comes at the cost of like doing something really diabolical to someone else, I just think you kind of lose all your ethos. And I was like, that's icky. I don't like it. Wait, also one other Summer House thing. I'm so sorry. There's always more. Mia from Southern Hospitality was on Watch What Happens Live, and she went on a date with West back in the fall, and she revealed that Amanda said to her at BravoCon, like, oh yeah, me and West like pre-gamed your date at his apartment. And when I tell you, hearing that story makes me want to take my laptop and fling it against the wall until it snaps in two, because like, fuck you, Amanda. We all know a girl like that. Oh my God. I used to work at a restaurant with this girl who, like, anytime a guy gave any girl attention, she'd always be like, oh yeah, he already asked me out, but I said no. Or like, oh yeah, he hit on me at the gym yesterday. Like, she truly could not help herself. And I think that that is the most rancid, unlikable trait in another woman. There is nothing I love more than to see hot women going on dates, being sexy, having fun, and just being like, oh my God, you go girl. But of course, because Amanda is jealous and like apparently just jealous of other women in general, and has no limits to who she's going to terrorize, she fucking said to Mia, oh yeah, me and West pre-gamed your day. And I'm like, don't you fuck with Mia. I mean, don't you fuck with anyone. But I'm like, the way she comes for like hot women on Bravo and tries to like put them in their place in such an 8th grade mean girl type of way, it enrages me. The white hot rage that flows through my veins for this woman, I simply cannot stand it. Her energy is someone who would have bullied me at overnight camp, and I've had enough. I'm pretty sure I say that every week, but I really have had enough. And like, honestly, I wouldn't have to say it every week if Amanda didn't keep doing diabolical things. If more shit about these two didn't keep coming out to light me up the way they do. I mean, enough. Total tang. Before we get into your AMAs, a couple funny stories. First of all, something really funny but also embarrassing happened to me last week. I put in an Amazon order. I had a little financial wiggle room this month, and I said, I'm going to Marshall's, which we already talked about, and I'm putting in an Amazon order. And what am I getting, you might ask? I was like, I'm ordering the Bondi Boost thermal brush, so I'll have silky smooth, early 2000s-esque blowouts this summer. I'm ordering a back tanning device. If you've never heard of this, it's like the same material as a tanning mitt, but it's like a strip of fabric so you can tan your back by yourself. Genius. And I'm ordering some e.l.f. setting spray. The microfine stay all night setting spray. Smells so good, feels so rich on the face. I'm like, I order it. I'm so excited for all my items to come. Friday, I get a Slack message from my manager on a Slack channel saying, hey, everyone, did any of you order something on Amazon? I just want to be able to put in, into the memo what this was for. And my coworker was like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And then I was like, I should probably just check to be careful, right? I go to my orders, and sure enough, I accidentally put my new thermal brush, my setting spray, and my back tanner on my manager's corporate card on my Amazon account, because I had to order stuff from Amazon for my job like one time, and I forgot to change it back to my card. And I was so mortified, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is an accident. But I was like, leave it to me to put like the most like girly pop order of all time on my manager's credit card by accident, and then go, oopsies. I was like, sorry. It felt like a cute little Jessica Simpson moment that I wanted to share. So then I had to return everything. They were like, well, we can deduct it from your next pay period. And I was like, well, actually, I ordered the wrong thermal brush. So good news for you. I'm returning all of it and then reordering. But like, what a shit show. I'm a disaster. Also, speaking of being a disaster, I went to friend of the pod, Tess Balomo's birthday dinner last Thursday. It was so fun. Many martinis were drank, as well as a Negroni nightcap at the end of the night. I took a Waymo home. I was like, I am going to take a Waymo home and listen to Justin Bieber and just like vibe out. But I was a little tie-tie. So I fell asleep, and I was like, the window's not comfortable enough. I'm just going to lean down onto the seat, like in my seatbelt, but like lean over onto the seat and sort of lay sideways while having my butt on the seat, lay sideways, sleeping. Well, I'm awakened by the voice of a woman coming through the speaker of my Waymo being like, ma'am, you need to wake up. You need to sit up. This is a safety hazard. You need to sit up. And I'm like, what? I'm like, huh? She's like, you need to sit up. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And I, again, talk about feeling like you're being singled out by the teacher. I was like, this is a new low even for me. And I've done some really stupid, reckless shit in my life. But I was like, I feel like being yelled at by a lady in a robot car is a new low for me. So note to self, never falling asleep that way in a Waymo again. But I mean, God, the feminine urge to fall asleep in a Waymo when you're a little drunk and a little tired is there because you know you're safe. You're never more safe than when you're in a Waymo. And I will stand by that. Don't fight me on it. I'm not in the mood. I met an icon in a Legree class the other day. This instructor who I'd never had before. She did something that I will carry with me always. First and foremost, she was wearing a Rent t-shirt, which I feel like in this year of our Lord 2026 is like punk as hell. I don't still have my Rent t-shirt, but she not only still has one, she was wearing it. And anytime we did something like insanely fucking hard, which was a lot throughout this class, she would go, uh-huh. And At first I was like, okay, I feel like you're mocking me. And then by the end of the class, I was like, I'm obsessed with this woman in the Rent t-shirt, slowly torturing me and then just looking at us all and going, uh-huh. And I just want to do that now. Like anytime something fucked up happens, I just want to look around and go, uh-huh. It reminds me of the kid in The Little Rascals. Uh-huh. So that's a new inside joke that we can all have together. Two more things before your AMAs, I swear. Okay, I'm obsessed with this podcast, this new podcast called Love Trapped. And it's about Clayton Echard from The Bachelor. And I didn't watch his season, but Gabby Windey was on his season famously. And she like stood up to him because he was apparently like the worst bachelor of all time. Like slept with multiple women. Told them all he was in love with them, confused them all. And they all left by like didn't pick any of the two that were left because the one he wanted like left the show early. And it was just like a botched finale to The Bachelor. And America hated him. Well, I guess after the show, he moved to Arizona to start like a quiet life as a realtor. And he gets involved with this woman extremely briefly. We're talking about like a half of a hookup. Okay. And she like tortured him. I won't, no spoilers, like, but she basically like fucked his life up in the most massive, terrifying way. And it is such a good podcast to binge, y'all. I've been just like deep in Love Trapped for like 7 days. Shout out to Laura Marie Shane Halls who recommended it on her podcast. But I'm so in with this. And I just love a true crime pod that I can just burn through, especially one that feels very like dramatic and like Lifetime movie-esque, like dark without being like, oh, I need to sleep with my lights on. You know what I mean? Like no one dies, but like crazy shit goes down. So had to recommend that. Last thing is I had a really good session with Dr. Doctor last week, and we were talking about this idea of like who we give power to in our lives. Cause I was talking to her about like kind of trauma from like friendship breakups and things about me that I'm still working really hard to like accept as like okay. Because there's this desire for me to like be good with people who don't necessarily like give me the kind of love or attention or care that I want or deserve, and rather like don't see me or like breadcrumb me. And like I feel like this pressure to like make things okay, even if it means like fully like taking on the whole situation as if I'm the only one at fault and then letting people who wronged me off the hook, if that makes sense. And Dr. Doctor said something that like kind of rewired my brain. She was like, I think you're giving a lot of power to people who like don't deserve it, because what you've told me about them is that like they weren't nice to you, they weren't respectful to you, they didn't make you feel good. So why are you letting them like dictate how you feel about yourself now, even if they're not in your life anymore? And I was like, holy shit. And so I wanted to bring that up to invite us all to kind of reflect on it if it resonates, because it's like, why give these people the power when we can consciously make the choice to like flip that switch, like to notice when we're doing it and then be like, no, I'm actually not going to give power to that person. Like this person doesn't get to have that power over me anymore. And I was thinking about that over the weekend. I was in a situation with someone who like I wanted to like feel like things were okay with, and I just ignored them and they ignored me, and it was like totally fine. And normally in the past I'd be like, oh my God, like why didn't they say hi? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I would have beaten myself up like so bad. And I was like, I don't have to do that to myself. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not a bad person. We don't need to do this whole song and dance. And it was a very, very empowering moment. So I wanted to share that with you. If that resonates, DM me. Let me know what you think. And shout out to Dr. Doctor for being the best. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here. And then when we come back, I'm going to dive into your listener questions. So don't go anywhere. And we're back. Okay, I am so excited for today's AMA. Thank you to everyone who wrote in. And the theme of the names today is the Ladies of London cast, because of course. Our first question comes from Martha. She says, I'm visiting LA in a few months and staying in Los Feliz, Silver Lake area. Not sure if you're super familiar with that area, but would love recs on coffee, restaurants, anything. Well, Martha, you're in luck, because I am very familiar with this area and I fucking love it. And I lived there when I first moved to LA. So I have so many thoughts. First of all, for coffee, I would go to Brew on Vermont. I think their coffee is delicious and it's just like a cool, chill vibe and fun to like walk on Vermont. Or Maru, that's like on Hillhurst, very, very sceney. You might see celebrities there. There's usually a line out the door, but people really like it. I'm more of a brew girl myself, but both are delightful. all time on Hillhurst is a sure bet for celebrity sightings, but there's always a long line, which in my opinion is like a humiliation ritual. I really don't like waiting in lines. It makes me feel bad about myself. But the food, if you decide to wait in the line, the food is like, you'll have a really delightful like $30 sandwich or salad. I wish I was kidding. They also have a little window where you can just like grab a coffee and a pastry. And I would definitely go like for lunch or breakfast. Dinner time, apparently it's like a vibe, but it's really fucking expensive. So I'm not sure like what vibe you're feeling, but all time is definitely like a celebrity hotspot and very Los Feliz vibes. Mess Hall is an all-time favorite of mine. Super laid back vibes, great happy hour. They do dollar oysters on Tuesdays. They have a cute patio. And if you want the best off-menu cocktail they have a really good cocktail program in general. If you want the best off-menu cocktail and you like mezcal and you like spicy, order a spicy mezcal made. You will not be disappointed. It is so delicious. I'm still going. There are 2 new spots in the neighborhood called Wilds and then Vandal or Vandel. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Those are like the 2 hottest spots in the neighborhood right now. So if you're interested, I would get a reservation if you can, but they're very buzzy, very cool, very hip. Everyone's dying to go. Little Dom's is another favorite of mine. I love sitting at the bar. They make a great espresso martini, but I personally recommend going for brunch, and you absolutely have to get the blueberry ricotta pancakes. They are unbelievable. And then they have really good sandwiches. I really like the fried chicken sandwich. So definitely recommend Little Dom's. For martinis, like girls' night out, I love going to the Dresden. That's like one of my favorite places. I love to go there and read or write and just hang, take myself on a date, go with gal pals, go with Jake, whatever. They do live jazz every night. They're not open Mondays or Tuesdays. Believe me, I've been burned by that before. But they make the best martinis in town. Ugh, I'm salivating just thinking about it. It's such a fun vibe. It was in the movie Swingers, like really old school, cool, classic LA energy. If you're going to eat, I would just do bar food, like fries and mozzarella sticks. I would not splurge on like a steak. And then in Silver Lake, I love Shortstop for dancing. We went there after my wedding. Really, really fun dance floor. There's like a dance floor area that's really fun. And then there's like a back like pool area. So kind of like different vibes depending on what you're feeling. And then for like an elevated girls dinner, I love going to Bakery in Silver Lake. Really fun for getting like a bunch of tasting plates, and their patio is like so beautiful. It's just like a vibe there. And then a couple bar recommendations. I'm sorry, this is like the longest answer ever. Bar Stella is like a very Euro vibe, has a very sexy like smoking patio, but it is very hip and very sceney. So if I were you, I would get there at like 5, post up at the bar and don't fucking move. Just enjoy the people watching because it's crazy. I saw Kesha there once. I just love it. And then Secco is another place in Silver Lake that is like apparently the cast of I Love LA loves it there. I've only been there once, but I did have a great time. I did almost get pickpocketed though, so just anywhere in LA, anywhere in the world, really, just like watch your purse. But those are my recommendations. Okay, moving on. Emma, how did you and your mans meet? Apologize if you've already said. First of all, Emma, do you know how fucking cool it is to be at a point in my life where strangers on the internet write into my podcast and ask me questions about my life? Like the fact that you care about that means so much to me, Emma. So truly, no apologies at all. It's my honor. We met at a barbecue in 2019. I went as like a friend of a friend who was invited. And then Jake was invited by the guy whose barbecue it was because they had worked together. And I saw him. I was sitting like in the kitchen posted up by the chips because of course. And there was this really good vegan potato salad there. And I saw Jake walk in and I thought he was cute. And let me just say, long-winded answer, but you know, welcome to me. That was the first time in my life when I genuinely, like, I was single and I genuinely was like, I love my life and I know that I'm going to meet the right person when it's right. But like, the universe is going to like introduce him when the universe is ready and it's not my fucking problem. And I'm not going to like, I finally was in this energy of just flow and being like, I don't fucking care. And so then Jake walks in, I thought he was cute. And I was like, oh, you should try the potato salad. It's like really good. It's vegan. And he's like, I'm not vegan. I was like, I'm not either. It's just really good. And he was like, okay, well, I'm going to go shove a chemical filled hot dog in my face. And then he ran outside and I was like, that wasn't, you know, that didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but like no big deal. And then I went outside and we were kind of just like glancing at each other while we were in different conversations. And he eventually like made his way over to me and my friends. And we talked for like 8 hours and went on our first date that week, and the rest is herstory. Which is why, like, here's the thing. I don't think there's any rules when it comes to dating. Like, I know couples that are cute as fuck and met on like Hinge or Raya. And then I know some people who met in the wild. I think the biggest piece of advice, unsolicited advice that I have for anyone who's single and listening is like, truly just adopt the mantra, I'm going to meet someone and they're going to be amazing, but the universe will introduce them when it's the right time or like when it's ready. I said that for like a month before I met Jake, and I like truly believed it in my bones. And like, I just believe that like everyone has someone who's right for them that is making their way towards you like right now at this very fucking minute, but they are going to meet you exactly when and how they're meant to. And maybe that's on an app and maybe that's in person, but in the meantime, just like enjoy your life, have fun, learn to have fun with yourself, learn to have fun with your friends and your family, like live a rich, sexy life, because I just think that only speeds up the process of like attracting the right person. And being single is not a you problem. It's not like a shortcoming of yours. It's just the universe doing its thing and the timing that it's meant to do it. You know what I mean? Moving on. Micah said, you've probably already said, but I'd love to hear your and Danny's origin story. I met Danny, I remember listening to Everything Iconic when I lived in Chicago and just being like, oh my gosh, I love this guy. We have the same like pop culture taste and takes. And so when I moved to LA, I saw that he was guest hosting a Sex Unique podcast live show. And I was also a fan of Sex Unique podcast, still clearly am. And so I got a ticket and I went up to him after and introduced myself. And I was like, hi, I'm Hannah. Like I host a show. I would like love to have you on. And he was just like, oh yeah, just like message me on Instagram. And so I messaged him and we connected, and he was like, you can come on my show too. And to this day, and I really need to text Danny about this, I still to this day have no idea why he like trusted me to go on his show, because I was just like a random girl at a show. But like from the moment we podcasted together, we just like hit it off and had the best time and stayed friends. And it's truly like so special to have a friend that I made in such an organic way. And he's been such a great like mentor as I've settled into my life in LA. And we love Dan. He's the best. Mark, how do you stay motivated to exercise? I have no desire at all. Okay. I think a big thing, it's a few things. Cause like, let me just say something. I have gone through so many phases in my exercise journey where I like couldn't stick with it. And I think how we talk to ourselves about exercise matters. Anytime I put this pressure on myself to like be skinny or to like reach a certain number on the scale, or to, you know, like when it was related to like self-loathing or negative self-talk of like, wow, you didn't go to the gym today, you're a lazy piece of shit, I was resistant to it and I could never keep it up. Or like if I would go to a workout class and I wasn't immediately good at something, I would like beat myself up. And I think the only time I was really able to stick to it is when it's a couple things. I learned that I personally need the accountability of classes. I need the threat of a cancellation fee to actually show up. And then from there, I was kind of able to just like, I got into a routine from there, but I definitely needed the threat of a cancellation fee. And I needed the structure of the class, because I could kind of like go on autopilot and just be like, okay, a teacher's telling me what to do, I'll just do it. But I also needed to like meet myself with like grace and kindness and be like, okay, like that move is hard. It's not easy. I can't run for that long, so I'm going to walk. Oh, I can walk on a higher incline now. And just like allowing myself to like listen to my body and show up in the way that was authentic to me in that moment. And by the way, it changes day to day. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be in a Marvel movie? I feel like I can lift so heavy today. And then other days I'm like, I'm doing the bare minimum, but I'm showing up because it's so good for my mental health above all else. So I think trying different things, I think knowing that any movement is better than none. And I also think picking something that's like sustainable time-wise and schedule-wise. So like, again, when I was sort of in that self-loathing cycle when it came to my relationship to exercise, it was very much like, okay, I'm going to go 5 days a week and I'm going to work out for an hour at a time. And I would give myself these like really unrealistic, like overwhelming goals and then put myself into a state of like paralysis because there was just no way I could keep it up. So I would say like, start with something that like sounds doable to you, whether that's like, I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to do, you know, 2 5-minute workouts a week. I can link some of my favorite creators in the show notes too, just in case. But I'm going to do like 2 5-minute videos a week, like short, quick videos. Or I'm going to like go for like a 10-minute walk. And then you might be on that 10-minute walk and be like, I'm actually really enjoying this. I'm going to go for 20. Or like the accountability of going to a workout class with a friend being like, okay, this would be intimidating, but I'm going with this friend of mine who feels safe so that like if I fuck up or I can't keep up, we can like giggle about it together and it makes it less intimidating. I think just like doing things that are sustainable and feel safe and comfortable and healthy for you and not comparing yourself to other people is the best way to stay motivated. But like seriously, I'm such a class girl. To this day, I do not have the motivation to go to an open gym. Like in theory, I love the idea of just being able to like put on some big hot girl headphones that I don't own yet and just like being a baddie and listening to my own music and just like doing my own thing. But like I really need someone to tell me what to do. So hang in there. You're doing amazing, sweetie. And be kind to yourself. Margot asks, what is your favorite album currently? Swag 2 by Justin Bieber. Y'all, I'm so late to this. I'm like 7 months late. Swag 2 came out in September, I believe. Or maybe that was just regular swag. I don't really understand the difference. I think swag 2 is like longer. I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not like a cool music girl. But swag 2 is so fucking good. I was finishing an Orange Theory class a couple weeks ago, and the instructor played the song Bad Honey from Swag 2 as like the cool down song. And I was like, damn, this is good. And, you know, I'm like geekily like talking to my watch going, what song is this? And like holding my wrist up to the sky being like, I hope it picks it up. And then I listened to the whole album and I was like, this is fucking fantastic. And within the last like, I don't know, 6 months or so, I got really into Dijon. Shout out to friend of the pod, Claire Donald, who got me into Dijon. And I really like his sound, and Swag 2 reminded me of Dijon. And then also by way of Dijon, I got into McG, and I texted my friend Anna, who's also a cool music girl. And I was like, by the way, I know I'm late to this, but like Anna, Swag 2 is so good. It reminds me of Dijon. And she's like, good ear, because he produced that album along with McG. And I was like, wait, that makes me feel so cool that I could like identify, like, I like this sound and it reminds me of this musician. As someone who doesn't identify as like a cool music girl, I was like, that is so cool. Like such cool trivia. And shout out to friend of the pod, Anna, because she's been a cool music girl since we were like 12. She's always been like so ahead of the curve on artists, but like obsessed with Swag 2. So fucking good. Martha asked, what are your favorite items from your wedding registry? Okay. I love all the pretty glassware we got. I think it's so, I'm very much like Dorit when it comes to glassware. Like I want to drink a drink out of the proper glassware. So I love just having a glass for every type of cocktail. I think that just makes nights at home or like having people over very just like fun and chic. I also I registered for these really beautiful plates that have this like, they have like a scalloped edge and they have this blue and white pattern on the outside, like striped pattern. And they're so pretty and they remind me of like a vacation in Capri. And I registered for those, and I still have yet to have like a beautiful summer dinner party with them, but I'm so excited. So that, and then also my sister got me this really gorgeous tablecloth that I wanted that was expensive as hell, but so stunning. So anything that has to do with like throwing a pretty dinner party and like eating, drinking, entertaining were definitely my favorite things off my registry. And yeah, I got some, I mean, have fun though. Like literally sky's the limit. Also, I feel like registering for nice towels, I don't think Jake and I did that because we were like good with our towels at the time, but like sheets and towels are great things to register for because they're weirdly expensive. But when you get the nice version, you're like, damn, my life feels like a spa. My house feels like a hotel. Like, wowee, this is living. Kimmy asked, what are you reading? Okay, I'm actually like doing something that I hate doing. Like I have like 3 books on the roster right now. I started Such a Fun Age, which I was loving. But then Lena Dunham's memoir came out and I was like, I need to read Famesick. Like I need it in my veins immediately. Like Girls is such an important part of my millennial girly pop lore, which is, you know, the least interesting thing about me because like what millennial woman doesn't feel that way about Girls? But I was just like, I need to soak this text up, this sacred text. So I'm reading that right now. And then after I finish Such a Fun Age, I'm going to read my friend Joe Pesenti's book, 7 Graves Deep, which is like a sci-fi novel. And I'm really, really excited because we love Joe and we love his writing. He's been on this podcast before. Final question from Lottie. How to style an oversized graphic tee to look cool and put together. Lottie, this is a hard question. And I'm still, full disclosure, like trying to figure it out. I think there's a couple things we can take into account here. One, when it comes to the type of cotton for the t-shirt, you want like a lightweight cotton that's sort of going to glide over your body as opposed to like a stiffer cotton that's just going to sort of hang over you like a box, like a burlap sack, if you will. So I think something thin that's sort of going to flow with you as you move immediately looks a little bit more elevated. I also think playing with proportions is important. So like I love an oversized tee with like a really body skimming like silk maxi skirt. I think like pairing it with something more elevated keeps it from looking sloppy. You could also do it with, you could play with like oversized on oversized and do it with like a wide leg jean, but then I would do like a really delicate shoe with it, like a fun, chic little flip flop or a pair of delicate ballet flats. Like I think juxtaposing the oversized with either something that's a little bit more slim or something that feels a little less sporty and laid back is the move. Also, I think throwing like something more polished over it, like a trench coat, something that's longer than the oversized t-shirt, by the way, has to be longer, but like a trench coat, or I'm trying to think what else. I'm like definitely a trench coat. That one I know for sure. But yeah, like some sort of long jacket over an oversized t-shirt with like a straight leg jean and some flats is going to look very like chic and cool, in my opinion. So I hope that helps. Let's wrap up with Hannah's Hot Girl Corner and grow up. Okay, so I'm really obsessed with my Hannah's Hot Girl Corner of the day. And it is not an item, it is just a way of being. So I'm excited to hear what y'all think about this. Message me if you agree. I think one of the hottest things you can do is when you're in a social situation and someone gets cut off in the middle of talking in a polite way, like responding to the person who cut them off, but then being like, and sorry, what were you saying about, you were saying something about blah, 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 and like inviting them to finish their thought. I think it is one of the sexiest, hottest things you can do, because like who doesn't love someone at a party who makes them feel seen and heard? And I think sometimes when you're in a group setting, everyone's kind of trying to like tell their funny joke or make their story heard, and some people get like steamrolled. And I think to be the person that like pulls maybe the shyer person into the conversation and invites them to share is a really hot thing to do. Similarly, if someone joins a conversation, rather than not acknowledge it and just keep going, acknowledge that someone joined and be like, oh my God, get in here. So-and-so was just telling us about blah, blah, blah. Because that's saying, I want you to be part of this conversation, but I am going to invite this person to finish their thought. I think that is, I'm not Countess Luann. I'm no like queen of etiquette, okay? I'm certainly not writing class with the Countess anytime soon. But I do think being warm and having a warm, welcoming energy at a social event is just so magnetic and so hot. And I want it for all of us. And honestly, when I go to a party, you could be the most famous person in the world. If you're like cold and not nice, that stays with me. And I know that I'm not the first person to say this, but like people will always remember how you make them feel. And I think the hottest people are warm people who make people feel seen and heard and welcome. So that is my Hannah's Hot Girl Corner of the day. Finally, finishing with grow up. And this might be an obvious one, but is it? Giving unsolicited advice, just in general. Grow up. And I know sometimes it comes from a loving place. Like I have a 20-year-old sister, and sometimes when she calls me and she vents, I've had to learn to be like, do you want advice or do you want to vent? And I have to give her space to say, this is what I need from you. I understand the desire to give unsolicited advice, but I'm sorry. There's nothing more fucking annoying in this life than someone going, you should do that. You should do that. Did you ever think about doing that? You should do that. When like, we're all just doing the best we fucking can in a world that is going to shit. We're all trying to be great at our jobs, great partners and sisters and daughters and whatever the fuck else. Trying to keep it together, trying to survive in this economy, living in Brooklyn, trying to survive in this economy, working, as Alex McCord once said. We're really all doing the best we can. And so I think giving unsolicited advice is just like uncalled for. And like 9 times out of 10, it's like, whoa, thank you. Like, why didn't I think of that? It's like the most obvious shit ever. And it's just not helpful. To me, if I ask someone like, hey, I'm working on this thing, what do you think of that? Then sure. Fire away. Give me all your thoughts. I'm obviously asking you because I think that you know better than me. But unsolicited advice to me, and this is probably something I should bring up to Doctor, reads as, you don't know better, so let me help you. And it's like, maybe, bitch, I do know better. Did you ever think about that? Grow up. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all again for writing in. If you're watching on YouTube, if you do not watch the podcast, remember that you can watch full episodes on YouTube. By the way, been recording for like 40 minutes. Did not even acknowledge that I am recording in my bedroom today. And you know why? Because last week while I was recording at my dining room table, there were four deliveries within the 45 minutes I recorded, and I was literally like, I can't fucking do this. I was getting so flames on the side of my face, and like no one was doing anything wrong. Everyone's just trying to do their jobs, but I was like, I can be an adult and choose a place with actual privacy. So that's why I'm in my bedroom now, my new podcast studio. But yeah, watch full episodes on YouTube. If you love this podcast, leave it a rating and a review, share it on Instagram, send it to a friend. Seriously, like reviews make it so much easier for people to discover the show. And as a small independent creator in an oversaturated market, it really, really means the world, and it helps the show a lot. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a gorgeous rest of your week. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.